Welcome back everybody, it's DestinysJesus here. Today we've got another W key video breaking down REZON A. He's been absolutely dominating this season in terms of competitive events, right? He's got 5 solo event wins, he won the heats, he got 7th in grand finals, he won qualifier 1, got top 5 and top 7 in other weeks. He went on to win the Mongrel Cup as well, and he's won 2 cash cups in the past. It's absolutely insane W key. I've been breaking down exactly what he does to take smart fights mid-game, where he always has an advantage. To be really good for you guys who want to apply this into cash cups or any type of solo tournaments in the future. I've been breaking down how he fights, and all of these fights are against good players in the grand finals and different events. No absolute bots that he's just W keying and shitting on. These are all pros that he's fighting, loads of different top tier EU players that he's just shitting on. I've been breaking down exactly how he's able to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. One of the key reasons for REZON's success is how much he claims Offspawn. He knows Holly hedges perfectly, and everybody else in the server is absolutely scared of him when they go there, right? He has this whole area claimed for himself, and nobody wants to contest him at all. In the qualifier weeks, he was pretty much uncontested every single week. In the heats itself, he was uncontested, and in finals, he's uncontested. People are terrified of him just because he W keys anybody in this area that he finds, anybody mid-game that he finds. I cannot stress how important it is to get a jot spot to yourself, learn it at the back of your hand, and understand everything there, how to deal with multiple people contesting you, how to loot it as efficiently as possible, and how to fight in all of the surrounding areas, buildings, or terrain that's near you. This is a perfect example of how REZON WQs mid-game. Basically, he always plays this beam just like Mitro does, right? So he gets this initial beam to start the fight, and look how he pops his pepper, right? Soon as he just sprays with his AR, so he props the pepper to get quicker towards the enemy. Normally he'd crash pad towards them. Then he comes in and he's instantly on the walls. He doesn't do any fancy approach trying to set up on the side. He just gets directly on the walls and he's just trying to swing his pickaxe and force builds the opponent's box. Here the opponent goes up, so he just keeps chasing him afterwards. Chase him again, always just playing for that wall control on the side. And this is where he kind of gets impatient, right? He hasn't let Stenner get a single mini off, right? You see, Stenner still hasn't been able to pop a mini just because of that AR pressure, first of all, and because of the pickaxe pressure, secondly. So he comes in underneath it, catches him popping the mini, gets that floor replaced and phases up. Then here he just commits straight into 50-50. That is not even a 50-50, right? Because he knows he hasn't popped a mini. REZON has attack and has the HP advantage, so he's always going to win that fight. Unless the guy hits like a max damage charge and then stops with AR hits 3 shots, which is very unlikely in the fact that REZON can just get 2 tacks or just 1 tack off in that time. This is one of the things that makes REZON so deadly in tournaments. It's just this confidence. Right here he sees his player get a crate right next to him, and he crash pads straight into his box, sprays him in the top, and gets that damage. Now look here. So as soon as this wall is one shot in front of him, right, look what he does. He breaks, forces a cone inside the box, and then he sets up this crash pad exploit to get through. Guy gets out straight away. Now he comes around from the side, crash pads again through, and this is a really nice trick you can do. He knows he's hit the other guy 109. He's pressuring him non-stop so he hasn't got any minis off. So he shoots up to the ramp, takes a shot in the face in return. He's able to kill the guy straight away with his AR. This is a really nice trick REZON does on someone who's 1 HP who just keeps turning and boxing up for ages. So what he does is first of all pressures that wall down there to make the guy hold the wall. Then he comes from above and insta swings. And look how he actually hits the circle here, so he immediately gets in. And also look at his positioning. He plays around kind of to the middle point on that floor there. So the guy, when he went to place a cone, REZON was phased through it. Then he's able to fall, places the stair and instantly edits. So he's got this right hand peek into other guys. He's making space and he's able to kill him pretty quick. Really nice sequence of events. Obviously you can only do that if this guy has no cone on his top. That's pretty common occurrence in real game situations. This is REZON's general strat during any mid-game type of situation, depending on the tournament, obviously. It's really easy to replicate, and you can do this really well into cash cups, have a lot of mid-game fights, and just getting a lot of engagement so you have the advantage. Basically what he does is he rotates mid-map and plays around off high elevation looking downwards. This allows him to get free shots on people rotating through the map below him, who can't see him obviously, and he can see over like the top shoulder peak, or he can just catch people farming like this guy rotating through. If you do this in a cash cup, you can get so many mid-game fights with a massive advantage. Right here, REZON gets that 99 tag. He's pretty confident at pushing this guy. So look what he does. Sprays the walls as he pushes in. Chases through. And then he slides the cone, catches the guy trying to rebox out to the side, and he just walks through the wall, right? Charges up a shot, and the guy's completely caught off by that cone side. Basically, this is a really nice trick that you can do whenever somebody is actually going for an expansion, like trying to get out their box and edit out. As you can see from the other guy's perspective, he gets hit. He can't even see REZON as REZON stalks up on him from the top of that hill. Gets his wall sprayed, so he has to back out and make a little bit more space. And here, this is when he's trying to make space, right? Doesn't have that centerpiece in the box, so REZON forces it. And because he's forced that centerpiece, the guy tries to look over to the right to get out. REZON comes through that wall, just warps through because he's not holding it, because he's heading out to the side, and he gets killed instantly. That fight's about 15 seconds total from the beam, and he's got all of this guy's loot, all of this guy's setup, and all that mobility for endgame. It's such a good setup that you can do in cash cups, just roam around on those hills, trying to get shots on people below you rotating, or trying to farm. It's something that REZON really likes to do whenever he's on a mid-game rotate. He just pressures the guy in front of him and tries to force him to stop and look around. At this point, you can kind of assess whether it's a good or a bad player. So here, this guy shoots a couple of AR bullets and immediately just wimps off and starts boxing up and trying to make space. REZON's pretty confident at this point that this guy's terrible, so he just jumps in his box with a crash pad. It's a big shot there, and look at this piece control he gets. As soon as he's in this situation, he's to apply to build menu, he gets that cone up top, traps the guy in, and then he's a pretty free kill from there. And that completely restocks his crash pads, and he's set up for the rest of the game, and he can go on to win this game as well with that kill. It's another classic example of how aggressive REZON is mid-game. Gets that 28 tag from a distance, just press the guys in his AR from a distance. Now here, he's really committing to the kill. He knows the guy's boxing up and playing kind of scared, so he's pretty confident taking his fight. So what he does is the guy goes away, and as he jumps on this crash pad here, look how he reloads and immediately sets up a nice wall angle here. So he's playing around the diagonal between the two boxes, hoping the guy makes any kind of edit on this side or this front wall where he can get a shot. Instead, he jumps up towards the top, waits for the guy to make the open edit. Basically, all he's doing there is prepping the wall for it to be 1 HP, and then he changes and swaps his angle to be above to catch the guy reboxing. A lot of players, especially in kind of more stacked, laggy games, they're not going to rely on holding their walls, they're just going to rely on making space, right? So he predicts that, goes straight above the guy, and he's able to get free kill as he jumps out, and he just jumps into the guy's box. Another tactic that REZON uses mid-game is to sit in a bush on Edge Storm. He knows people are going to be rotating up from Fortilla in this bush spot here, so he sits in the bush and then instantly tries getting in. He always resets from height. Again, goes from height to guy pressuring the guy. And then look here, as he drops, sprays with his AR as he jumps in to get the wall one shot and prep it. If the guy does open up, he'll be able to take the wall as he drops there. Again, pickaxes from a distance, sprays in as he comes forward. Guy keeps on making space, so he chases him, keeps going upwards. Now at this point, he knows Belvid hasn't got enough heals off, so he's pretty confident to still just commit into a fight. Catches Belvid trying to heal from around the corner. It's a big shot there, and commits him with that AR spray. And he's already won that as quick as that, right? Even though that's a player completely kitted out with full shields, full mats, full everything, right? He kills him in that short amount of period of time, gets all of the movement and the pad off that guy, and he's completely set up for the game now. This is a really easy and consistent way of finding a refresh endgame. Basically what REZON did here was he dropped towards low ground and then he started looking upwards on people in tarps. From here, he'd shoot up and try to get some damage, and you see that he gets that orc tag through the floor. Normally, he wouldn't be able to get that tag through because there's so much going on in game. People are looking on their walls for anybody trying to jump in with crashes, or people approaching from the top. They're not really looking downwards and trying to hold their floor. So he gets that free tag there on this opponent, and look here. He sees him immediately pop minis, right? If he got that 30 tag and the guy just didn't heal at all, or he got 30 tag and the guy started popping big, he probably wouldn't aggress this, right? But he knows pretty confidently, even though he's 106 HP, he has the health advantage in that fight. So he goes up, pressures straight through in the guy, and then wins that angel there. Really free refresh, just go low ground and then look up on people's floors, especially when people do their tarps in wood. It's so easy and so consistent to get a free kill potential from that. This is a really nice edit play you can do whenever somebody's underneath your stair and you want to go for a smart edit that doesn't get you traded in return. So right here, Snazy jumps in the box on the top. They both trade each other a lot of damage and they're both basically 1 HP to either shotgun, right? Look at this really nice edit play that REZON goes for here. First of all, he does this bait play trying to catch a reaction at Snazy, where he pretends to plant a shotgun and then goes upwards, but instead, he goes for this edit play from the side. Look at this edit he does. His left hand stare going forward, then he jumps over to the side and he's able to catch Snazy's feet. From Snazy's perspective, you can see where the camera is. There's no chance he looks down and gets that shot off quickly enough because he's framed at this back corner of the box. REZON has that right hand peek and he's also jumping downwards, which allows him to get the pre-timing off on that shot. This is the angle that REZON just did in that last fight. So whenever you've got somebody boxed up, assess where they are underneath the ramp itself. If they're over to that corner, obviously don't do this edit. From here, you can do an edit like this. This is really good just because you get this right hand peek around like here. REZON did a variant where he jumped on the top and then shot as he was falling, but both worked really well. So basically what you're going to do is flip the ramp like that, get a free shot on them. What it looks like from the other person's perspective, when they're waiting for the edit on somebody, when the other guys, see here he gets that immediate shot like that, The angle normally is really good just because the stairs blocking off my line of sight. I can't really go for a shot, and I have to adjust from holding the guy up here the whole way down to shooting me in the feet, which is quite unnatural for most players.